Ladies and gentlemen, it's a new day in America, and we're feeling the energy.
We feel refreshed.
We feel refreshed, we feel lightened, and we're going to explain why, but Anand, in particular, feels especially safe in this new day.
Refreshed, and I might not be able to lift my arm.
Yeah.
That's a hint.
The weight.
The weight, yeah. The weight on his arm's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But the rest of him's okay.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to talk about inauguration. We're going to talk about everything that went on there. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump. We're going to keep it moving. Got a lot of Bitcoin to talk about. And then we're going to just talk about all things news and what's going on in the world. And then, I will say, very fun discussion at the end here. And we realize that Dee is caught in a bit of an identity crisis, and we're going to help him try to solve it.
And Drama and Anand seem to be disliking our famous national poet now. Discrediting her.
That's fake news.
And her intelligence.
Listen, that is fake news.
It's unbelievable what I'm dealing with here. I'm going to have to spin off into my own show.
Dee sounds a little
This is getting
Trumpy.
out of control.
Dee sounds like Trump saying he's going to leave and have his own political party.
Yeah.
What, he's going to call it the private chat?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
D platform.
D platform. Had that one lined up.
All right, it's a good episode. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat. We have a full studio today, and I would say it's sketchy. By full, I mean just the 3 stars.
Yeah.
And the 2
Whites.
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 Which is,
Whites.
Tim is always here. We can always count on Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Pete
Has reemerged.
has reemerged. So like Jack Ma.
They tried to Jack Ma
this
on me, and this is a
reemerges.
whole operation to keep
The
me quiet.
same week Jack Ma reappears, Pete reappears.
Coincidence.
Interesting. You did have some things to say about China in a couple of the old episodes, so
Yes.
maybe they sent you wherever they sent him.
Sure.
Okay. Rather not say, huh?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why, normally I would be terrified because, we're surging here in LA. Numbers are through the roof.
Yeah.
We've kept it real low-key. We've even done full episodes from home, all 3 of us. But here we are, full studio. The reason why I'm not nervous, 2 of the 5 are immune.
Massively de-risked.
Massively de-risked.
I mean, our
40%
risk just plummeted.
plummeted. Now, let me tell you why. Pete just has weird fucking MAGA genes.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that has all this white confidence, these big chubby whites walking around America, not a care in the world, even though they're the highest risk. Pete has that.
I think it's being a ginger. I think there's
Because that's like the whitest of the white.
gingerism.
Like
Yeah.
you couldn't tan if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting?
I just get red. I
No
just get
one,
red
no
and
one
red.
made the joke that Pete ditched us to go storm the Capitol.
Yes.
Wait, what?
I'm saying no one made the joke.
Oh,
Like,
you're right. We should have
I
just
think
said
because they
that.
were overly
We
confident that there was...
photoshopped images of him in the background. Like, is that fucking Pete?
that was a missed opportunity on our part.
Massively. Fuck. Okay, so.
I felt like I knew a couple people there, too.
What do you say?
I said I felt like I knew a couple people there.
I'm sure you
I'm
did.
telling you, guaranteed a few of my cousins
We
were
have a
there.
very intellectual audience that they compare Pete to Jack Ma, not the people that are storming the Capitol.
That's true.
Let me be
We're
clear.
way
He's
off.
closer to the Capitol.
Whoa!
Way off. We should say
You're
he's
not
hiding
wrong.
from the FBI because they're tracking down rioters.
Yeah.
Okay, well, missed opportunity. But the reason we say that is Pete has been. Are we allowed to say all this?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, Pete's been.
Let's
all over
also make it clear, millions of kids around the world are also doing this type of stuff.
Let's turn Pete's mic off for a second. Pete has been all over the country. He's been to
New Year's Eve party
New Year's Eve parties.
in Atlanta.
He was partying in LA anyway.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve parties in Atlanta. He was just telling us a story about being elbow to elbow in a bar, slammed with people, no masks. Traveling, obviously planes, all the above. And so we have just been scared to death of Pete. Pete has also, hopefully not going too far here, has been surrounded by people that have tested positive and been forced to quarantine with them because what's the point at this point of going and getting a fucking Holiday Inn room, and has sat in quarantine with multiple people with the coronavirus and emerged apparently unscathed.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Because he's tested, I think, 4 times in the last 8 days.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think he's been back or whatever, but we just were too scared to even be around him. Even when I walked in today and saw his face, I instantly was petrified.
Yeah. He told me, about how he was voluntarily quarantining with people with COVID. Yeah. And I was like, he's like, I'm coming back to LA. I've tested negative. Should I come back? And I was like, cool. Comes back. And then I see him like hanging out with Ryan Tierney in Palm Springs. I'm like,
you were at that party?
Yes. Ryan had all these nice pictures of them golfing. I was like, I wonder who took these. I was like, of course, it's Pete.
That's why he posted that golf picture today?
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was all about. I knew there was something fishy.
And that's when I was like, yo, you can't come back and then go to Palm Springs and then come in the office. That doesn't work like that. I was like, you got to wait 4 more days, take a test, and then you can come back. Yeah. And so he took a test on Monday. He was negative. He then sends me a Tuesday, and then he sent me the text today. You took another test.
I don't get it, man. This guy was quarantined in a house in Georgia where more people had coronavirus than not.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Nothing.
Elbow to elbow in a bar in Atlanta, nothing.
And did you get an antibody test?
As well.
You did?
Negative.
So you have no antibodies, but you
no
can't get the
antibodies.
Rona.
Been around people who have been positive. Been butts to nut in multiple bars. Nothing.
So you have no concern at this point?
Absolutely zero. I was for a little bit because I was like, once I got to Atlanta, I was like, if I'm going to get it, like now's the time I'm going to get it because like I'm putting all the chips out there and on the line. Nothing.
And by the way, I didn't have the key card to get up the elevator today. So I asked him to come down. The guy in the elevator, which is you should be respectful, wear a mask. He's now an anti-masker. He has the mask on his chin, like not even covering his face. He's walking around.
I don't got it.
When I walked in.
So I mean, there is data that suggests that people, because the coronavirus is a cold,
yes,
that from the common cold you have T-cell immunity that prevents you from getting the Rona. So you must fall in that category. Otherwise, I have no explanation.
I have no explanation. So that's 20% of us. The other 20%, Anand Murthy went the responsible route and got fucking vaccinated.
Yeah.
Anand has been vaccinated.
Let's do a round of applause.
I think it's only fair that 1 year ago when I was ringing the alarm bells on the coronavirus, how devastating this is going to be that I'm the first of the group.
You're right. If someone walked in here with a needle and said, I got one, who gets it?
Yeah.
It would be fair that it was Anand. So Anand got it.
What's the experience?
Tell us the whole thing.
So like I've said on a previous episode, Amanda and I now qualify in phase 1A because of all the doctor visits, appointments that we have to go to really, we were so exposed April, May, June, July, August, October that it's also kind of shocking we escaped it like Pete.
I want to say one thing. The COVID signs at Poppy might have just disqualified you.
Yeah.
I want to rethink that.
Yeah.
If a doctor walked in, I would say, you know what? It would have been on him, but somebody else did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we were doing it the right way. We had all our documents ready to go. So I went to a facility. It's like a fire department, 79th and Florence. So it's about 15 to 20 minutes past USC, deep in South Central.
Okay. That's where they're setting up shop, huh?
That's where they're setting
Not
up shop.
Target, not a...
Everywhere. I mean, I looked up the locations the other day. There's fucking
Is there now?
hundreds.
Okay, good. I was going to say, why isn't every big...
Every neighborhood has one now.
Yeah. So they're popping up. So, I have my appointment, which was at 1 o'clock. I went at like 12:40, 12:30, just because I was expecting full chaos. I was just going to be like, because I was at a class with Mav, and one of the teachers was like, I'm hearing 2 to 4 hour waits for vaccine. So I was expecting like, okay, this is going to be a disaster.
The whole day.
I'm going to go early, figure out where I need to, like, how do I angle myself in to get in line properly, whatever. So I walk over and a fireman, it's a fire department, was like, hey, are you here for a vaccine? I was like, yep. Take out your license. I did. He said, okay. Walk through this path. There's computer stations and check in for your appointment. So I walk up. There's probably 20 computers, 19 have people on them, and one was open. So I walk right in. They're like, can I see your license? I was like, yep. He sees it. He's like, your appointment is now. Just walk over to the tent and line up and get your vaccine. And I was like, okay.
So like, okay, here's where the wait is.
Yeah. And also, you didn't ask me for documents.
Oh.
I had all my documents ready, like what the state said, why we are phase 1A. Letter from our doctors saying this is why they need to be vaccinated because they're at all these appointments and stuff.
They didn't ask any of that.
They didn't ask any of that. Okay. So I was like, okay, fine. Are they going to ask it like later on? Like
So you have like documents in hand?
Yeah, I have a handful of papers in one hand and my license in the other.
Because I know you. You're prepared. Yeah. You're ready to argue if you got to.
Yeah, I was ready to fight.
Yeah.
I was expecting you don't qualify. You're not a healthcare worker. And then I was going to be like, well, here's a letter from the state. This is why I do qualify. Yeah. And I was ready for the back and forth. I already had like lines in my head.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, I was ready for a movie scene.
Yeah.
So then I walk up to the tent, same thing, probably 20 people, 20 nurses vaccinating people. And by the time I walked up from the computer station, one was open. So I literally didn't break stride. So I was just like walking and they're like, go there. And I was like, okay, boom, sit down, right or left arm. I said, right, poke, wait 15 minutes, make sure you feel good, go get your vaccine card. Went and got my vaccine card. They said, you have to come within 4 days of February 17th. So I got the Moderna vaccine. Pfizer's 21 days. Moderna's 28 for the second dose. I have no idea why. I guess that's just how they tested and done trials.
Yeah.
So they said you got to come within 4 days of February 17th, either before or after. Make sure you go to a facility that has Moderna, so you can't mix and match vaccines.
Yeah.
You can't get dose one.
It's real weird.
Then you're just like, you're Pete.
Or you just pick up like a weird accent or something.
So, I mean, I went a little early, and by the time I got to my car, because I parked a few blocks away, it was my appointment time, and I was already on the way home. It was the most insanely efficient thing I've experienced in healthcare, period.
So Gavin Newsom's incredible.
I'm giving it to Sleepy Joe. The day Sleepy Joe comes in the office, shit got cleaned up.
You're right. Man, I that also to me makes me feel like it could be done on a bigger scale.
Yes.
Like if it's that easy, then just do it bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
It's that easy because you just need to poke people.
Yeah.
That's it. You need someone who knows how to poke and someone who wants to get poked. It's
That's
two
it.
things.
So all you need is more computers, more lines, more pokers, more needles. That's it.
And then like booking the appointments, I am just flabbergasted that we live in the state of California where Silicon Valley is here. Why didn't we go ask Facebook and Google, hey, build out these products for us?
No. So I read about this.
Is this privacy?
No. The original, for example, the city of LA originally, and I think this might end up gone to all of California, they used this system developed by like the Maryland Health Department, and it didn't work. Then they went to Carbon Health, which is a technology company. Carbon Health came into the system because I go on that site now all the time just to keep getting updates. The Carbon Health site's amazing.
So can you book through the Carbon Health app?
Yes, now you can.
Now you can. Okay, that's good because the sites we were using to book, it was like 1999 internet.
Yeah.
Like some links work, some links don't.
I think you have to still go to their site, the City of LA's site, whatever. I think it's vaccinatelacounty.com.
Yeah.
You go there, and then based on the location, it sends you to the appropriate way to book it.
You could have went to fucking Apple and like you could click that shit on your iPhone. Of course, you need a version for Android that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Hey, go to Google. Go down the street to Google.
Apple. It was so easy. Do a little survey. Bing, bing, bing. Here's your mobile boarding pass.
Well, here's the thing. We saw this. Amazon, the North American CEO, wrote a letter to Joe Biden saying, congratulations on the presidency. Amazon is here to help you distribute the vaccine.
Yeah, let's
vaccine.
go.
The problem was Donald Trump had pissed off all of these big companies.
That's true.
And they were like, fuck you. We're not going to help you.
And Trump wouldn't reach out to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking? Because he hates Jeff Bezos too. Because I was thinking Jeff Bezos has a fucking like CIA contract or something. He's already in.
Yeah.
But you know what I was thinking yesterday is I don't think we realize how bad it's actually been because it's all we know.
Yeah.
I bet under a competent president, this would have been a totally different experience. We all would be vaccinated by now, and it'd be like, I really think it's that severe, but we just don't know it because you have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we do. The comparison is like we've never had this problem in an entire country, American history.
Yeah.
This is the first time because we took the simplest thing, which was if we had all worn a mask for 3 fucking months in April, we would have had a summer.
They had the whole plan. Obama and them put a plan together for this exact instance, and he threw it away.
Yeah.
And then there's a report today that came out that the Biden team is realizing they're starting from scratch. There was no vaccine rollout plan. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
They inherited like dog shit.
Can you imagine what they're finding?
Well, there's
It's probably like, so this guy was doing nothing.
yeah, literally nothing.
No, so if you think about the timeline, election is November 4th. He loses.
That's
He's
it. It's
done
over.
nothing since then.
And then Pfizer vaccine came out, what?
Yeah.
2 days later?
You're right.
So he's like, fuck
Plus,
it.
he's probably like, fuck Pfizer.
Yeah.
They screwed me.
So we lost 2 full months. And you think about, so we lost all of November and December when the vaccine was ready.
Yeah.
And the first 20 days of January. So you're talking when we had the peak daily deaths, when we're hitting 4,000, 3,000 to 4,000 a day. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like alarmist, but that's a war crime.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And here's the other thing that I just want to point out. I'm sick of people when they say, like, let's go ahead and now we can give Trump credit for the things that he did do well. The first thing always on the list is Operation Warp Speed. It was a disaster now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Complete
ruined
disaster.
it. So what'd you do? You put up a lot of money for whoever made the vaccine first? Essentially, I'm not trying to downplay. I'm sure it was a decent amount of work. But that's essentially what you did. You allocated budget for whoever makes this thing first. We will buy the doses.
Yep.
So sure, it gets done pretty quick. So crazy, record speed, but like then you sit on it for months and these things just sit and go bad and whatever. So now you have to scratch that off the list.
Yeah, because even if you wanted to talk about let's vaccinate the at-risk first and the frontline workers, which, you know, to an extent I agree with. Like, I think doctors, nurses should have been first and then it should have been a free-for-all after that.
Yeah.
That could have all been done by December.
Yeah.
And then we
Easy.
would be in line without any of these phase 1A restrictions because of appointments I have to go to. Like right now, if this was done correctly, every single one of us in this room would not need documents to go up to get a vaccine.
It'd be like the rest of the country, the rest of the world, where they're just like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, like Israel.
Yeah.
Israel's like the gold standard in vaccinating people.
My girlfriend's mom is from Israel. She's in Israel right now, visiting family, whatever, for months. And she's getting the vaccine, or maybe already did, just as a normal person.
Yeah.
Like she's no 1A, she's no nothing. It's just she's allowed to get it and she's getting it.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the number of people that don't want to take the vaccine, which is well documented in the US, we should be giving it to anyone who wants it. I actually strongly believe that. Mm-hmm. So the way I think about it is basically one less person who is a spreader is a net benefit to society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. End of story. Doesn't matter if you're 65, doesn't matter if you're 25.
You're right, because even for the anti-vaxxers, it's still better for them if more people are vaccinated.
Yes.
There's so many benefits to get as many people vaccinated. And the reality is especially on the elderly side, we should be able to, in California, fly through the elderly in the next 10 days. Everyone who wants it should be able to get it. I mean, our parents got it pretty freaking easily. They're 70s, in their 70s.
And so your parents got it just because of the age.
Yeah, they raised 65 and up.
And then they just showed their ID, their age, and boom, they were able to get it.
Or you go to 79 to Florence and don't show anything.
Just walk up to a tent, roll your sleeve up.
Yeah.
Man, I bet you, we do some logistics work for our businesses. I bet you if you could really get a look on what is happening, it is probably so horrendous.
Yeah.
It makes your little port problem look like child's play.
No, because I think what's going on, I had a friend tell me this the other day, is they have these like task forces. Now it's all virtual on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And like the mayor's on and everyone's just pandering to the mayor. Thank you, mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Because they just want to be aligned politically, but no one's actually putting up ideas to solve the problem.
Not to mention, because it kind of relates, I got a message today from the ports that they're at risk of completely shutting down because so many people either have COVID or are out on 2-day leaves to make sure, because they were exposed. Like, it's so bad that there's all these ships backed up. Nobody can even get a spot anyway, and now they're looking at potentially having to shut down. And I'm talking about one industry, one area. the ripple effect of how this is impacting business now, this late in the game, is insanity.
Well, that's the problem with the vaccine, like setting priorities for certain groups. Is the challenge with that is if you don't have mass participation in that group, which clearly we saw this with healthcare workers, we're not getting 80% of healthcare workers vaccinated in California. We're just not. There's like no fucking way that's happening.
I mean, at a hospital, you would think you could literally just walk in the sliding doors and there's a needle waiting for you.
And
how hard is that at hospitals?
So I'm looking on Citizen right now. They said, so there's 4.169 million doses distributed for California. People that have initiated the vaccine is 1.5 million. So we've
signed up?
Yeah, or actually
the
got
first one.
Yeah, that
So
actually
how
got
about
poked.
Warp Speed? Why did we only pre-buy 100 million? We know 70% is herd immunity. So why aren't you pre-buying 200 million? Like, can you do simple math?
No, I think no, because I'll tell you why. It wasn't guaranteed that the vaccine was going to be effective. So they just wanted to lock in some dosage.
Yeah, but they also weren't paying the money. It was just once the vaccine's ready, we get the first 100 million.
Wasn't Warp Speed, once you make a reliable vaccine, here is the money that will come to you.
It was just an operation. It was not Warp Speed. It was just an operation.
Stop calling it Warp Speed. It's giving it too much credit.
It's called Warp Speed.
The government
Full
wasn't
speed.
on the hook if the vaccine didn't work.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I'm sure there's an explanation.
No, I don't think there
That
is.
seems too dumb.
I don't think there's an explanation.
I think it's as dumb as we think.
Oh my God. Okay, I gotta ask this. Did you have something about the Citizen thing that you were gonna finish though? X amount have been initiated.
Yeah. So it's just said that in California, percent of California that's been given a shot is 3.8% so far. How many people in California do we believe have had it? 30%?
Of the state
Yeah.
that have had COVID?
1 in 5.
1 in 5. That's only 20%.
1 in 5 that's actually
positive?
tested. So you have to extrapolate that by a lot more.
A lot more. If it's 1 in 5 have been tested positive, that means like half.
So that's so we think 40% of Californians potentially have had COVID, and 3.8% have now been given the shot.
Warp speed.
Warp speed. I mean, the way I look at this thing every day, it is not moving at warp speed.
So I will say from the facility I went to, and I think kudos to them, they don't check documents because they know it doesn't matter. They're actually forward thinking.
Yeah,
maybe
Just
they're
keep
just smart.
vaccinating.
Yeah.
Keep vaccinating.
Who cares?
If you're telling me that you can go somewhere in Los Angeles and not wait in line to get this vaccine, something's very broken.
Well,
you
here's the
should have
thing.
had to wait 2 hours. That line should have been that long.
Yeah, no, that's a
I'll
great point.
well,
My whole day should have been screwed.
No, but here's the thing.
But yeah, you can't vote
I think
in one day.
I think it's. I understand why they're doing this, because if they just said "fuck it," anyone can go, it's just going to be chaotic, and then it's just going to be a bad experience.
But just open up the guidelines.
Yeah, so I honestly think by next week it'll be 60 and older. Then the week after that, 55
It should
and
be
older.
like if you work at a restaurant,
Yeah.
if you work retail.
Yeah.
They should just slowly tier.
If you have a TikTok, you get to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you own jeans anymore?
Yeah.
Have you left your house? Do you plan to?
They're saying if we
Or make it a lottery.
if you
like fucking put your thing, and every day if your number gets called, you got to go.
Or just literally pick 100,000 people, whatever, and just send them emails.
Yeah.
and
You
you
got
should
it.
be
Next day,
fined
you got it.
if you discard a vaccine. Like that should never happen because you didn't use it in time.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Can you think about the fact that if you walked right up to a thing and rolled up your sleeve, that must mean that there are moments throughout the day where someone is standing there with a needle ready to put it in an arm and there's no arm there.
Yes.
That should never happen.
No, and these should be going on 24 hours a day.
You're right. I would go at 3 a.m. If I could go like a nice low key roll up. No
And
one's really
I'll tell
there.
you, like it was outdoor and walking up, I was like, how is this going to be? Am I going to be around a ton of people? It was fine. I wasn't within 6 feet of anyone.
I don't even think our parents got out of the car.
No, they drove. It was a drive-through.
Yeah.
I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger do the same.
Really?
Yeah, he did a drive-through.
Okay, so I gotta ask you. This is the last part, and then we can move on. But like, any side effects from the chip? Any sickness? Any nausea? Any fever?
So right after the shot, I'd say a few hours after the shot, I started feeling a little tightness in my arm. Didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, whatever.
The shot itself didn't hurt.
No, shot itself didn't hurt. And then the evening went on. I was like, okay, it's a little stiff. It's fine. go to sleep, wake up 2:33 in the morning. My arm is killing me.
Really? It woke you up?
I couldn't sleep the rest of the night.
No.
I've been up since 2.
No, you haven't. Yeah. And so what's it feel now? It died off?
So
You took Advil.
I think the big mistake I did was I didn't take Advil or Tylenol last night. I should have just done it as like a
Caution.
just as precaution. And I told my parents who got it today, I was like, take Advil and Tylenol the whole day, regardless of how you feel, because I couldn't even like lay on my side because my arm was hurting that much.
That's so funny. My friend's girlfriend got it, and she's like a young girl, and she posted like, update, feel like I got punched in the arm, can't raise it past 90 degrees. And I'm like, you're so dramatic. And like even my girlfriend was like, how's Anand feel after? I'm like, he didn't say anything. He's fine. And then it's true.
So then I woke up, or I didn't wake up. I just decided to get out of bed and took 3 Advil, and now I feel fine.
Wow.
But I think it's consistent from the people I've talked to, all have this arm issue on the first dose.
Yep. And then the second one is when maybe you get
Second
this.
one, I'm getting full sick.
Yeah.
24 hours of fevers and chills.
You should probably load up on Tylenol before that, too.
I should probably start now.
Yeah.
You'd be really hydrated and.
But I do think it also affects everyone differently. Like, I had it bad for 12 hours.
Yep.
Someone may not have anything. Because I started Googling in the morning, like, should I have been prepared for this? And it's like, luck of the draw. Some people it affects, some people it doesn't.
Well, good for you, man. I can't wait to hear the second one. I am jealous.
Yeah. Me
Like,
too.
this is the hottest item. Like, you could have some hot new shoes.
Yeah.
You could have got a whole new car.
I
And
mean,
I'd be
our
like, oh,
entire
cool.
family now, except me. I mean, our immediate family. Just you guys are all vaccinated. My parents are
You
vaccinated.
guys should all have a family get together without D.
Indoors.
Or now I can hang out because these guys are all vaccinated.
I guess you're right. Okay, then of course, I mean, we got to talk about fucking. It's a new day
Yes,
in America.
it is. It feels good.
It feels good. I'll tell you what. I had a lot of calls yesterday, and I didn't properly tune into the inauguration. I kind of was catching clips, but everyone was so happy.
Yeah, there was a weight that was lifted off the country yesterday, and even if you voted for Donald Trump, you have to enjoy the civility and the positivity.
Well, Anand had a good point on his tweet. There are people who don't.
Yeah.
And it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
No matter which political side you fall on, and you're like, oh my God, he's gonna, taxes are gonna, whatever. How can you not enjoy that?
And there's so many things about. I watched most of the inauguration, and I got to pop in and out in the evening of just commentary and then whatever little celebrations I saw. It was such like a positive, inspiring, really like uplifting event. Like I walked away and I was like, fuck, I felt good. I felt really, really good. Just hearing, you had Lady Gaga, J-Lo, and Garth Brooks singing, which they were all amazing. You got to see, all the former presidents. You saw Obama, you saw the Clintons, you saw the Bushes. You got to see like other notable political figures. And then you hear Joe Biden's speech, which was fucking incredible. Like really the speech you are looking for in a president. When Donald Trump got elected, I remember watching the inauguration and I was like, you know what? I hope he says something uniting. I didn't vote for him. I didn't support him, but like, I was like, he's our leader. We have to at least give him a shot.
Yeah.
And it was so difficult for him in those 4 years to do the basic things.
Basic.
Like,
hey, are white supremacists bad?
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. And I think hearing Joe
Well,
Biden.
funny you say that. Tucker Carlson's monologue after Biden's speech was like, what is white supremacy? Is this something we should be scared of?
He just threw him into a tizzy. He's like, which way's up now?
And like the other side believes everything Biden said was complete bullshit.
Yeah. And I think, and so look, I agree. There's going to be a percentage of the population, but it's similar to herd immunity. You only need 70%. Right. And I think we're getting to that 70% pretty quickly. Like if you assume like probably 60% of the country was Joe Biden pre-inauguration day.
Yep.
And with the events that happened on the Capitol, I mean, it's just crazy thinking about 2 weeks ago on the Capitol, we saw it get attacked, and now we're having an inauguration, and just insane security. I don't know if you guys saw when they panned in.
Yeah.
That didn't look like National Guard. That looked like Army Rangers.
SWAT team, the SEAL Team 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so just seeing that and just seeing it, just the mood shift. You know, I caught a glimpse of the new press secretary.
Yeah.
The civility, the stopping of, it was like lighthearted. It was like, I don't care if you didn't vote for this guy. You have to appreciate, Joe Biden said, lower the temperature.
Yeah.
That matters.
And Fox News, I was watching this morning to see what their take is like, look at all the softball questions the new press secretary got.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That when it was theirs, they just didn't answer truthfully.
Yes.
That's your option.
Yeah.
I just don't, it blows my mind. I will say I've never been like just being honest, I've never really cared about like this stuff. Maybe I'm just getting older, or maybe the last 4 years have been more tough than I thought. But seeing even just the ceremony of it all, and the, you know, like, I don't know, like having the girl read poetry, and you know, like, it's just cool. Like it does make you a little proud of like where you live. And like, I feel like, once again, maybe I didn't notice how heavy the last 4 years was, where you feel kind of embarrassed of your own country, but it felt cool again to be American, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, like, firsthand, I didn't realize the effect the last 4 years had on me until yesterday.
Yeah.
When I just had this, like, just relief and like, okay, great. Like, things are, I'm hopeful again. I went and got the vaccine with no issues.
Yeah, right.
A lot of things are looking up. I was just like, wow. I'm really excited for these next 4 years.
Yeah, what a difference a week and a half can make. It's funny, to your point, Dee, like to have a young black girl reading poetry, which just went so viral.
Oh, my God. We got to talk about that. Sorry.
But I'm just saying, a week and a half after that same area was like being invaded by psychopaths is like, I mean, that happens in a week and a half. Like, that's only in America's type stuff.
Oh, yeah. And like, just if you have not taken the chance to listen to her
Amanda
poem,
Gorman is her name.
Yeah, it is unfucking believable.
Shout out to LA.
I'm going to get to that. First of all, poetry is something that like I've never really been deeply interested in. I was obsessed. I've always been obsessed with. Yeah, shocker.
I thought for sure you went home and read poetry.
I'm the only poet that I've actually read a lot of their poems, if not all of them, is Robert Frost. I was just obsessed with Robert Frost as a kid.
Yeah.
And so I have a deep interest in his stuff and understanding why he wrote what he wrote. But you know, it's never been something I've been super passionate about. I listened to her, and then I listened to her again, and then I go on Twitter and I start following her. Then I go on Instagram, start following her, and I think we were talking about this throughout the day. I mean, she became a phenomenon,
overnight superstar. So
turns out the only thing bigger than being on a hit Netflix show is reading poetry at the inauguration for viral growth.
And so while she started, when she started her poem, I was like, okay, there's a reason why she's here. I need to find out. So I'm like Googling Twitter, because she's obviously a very young girl. And then LA Times actually posted an article as soon as she started reading her poem, like, this is who she is. This is like Joe Biden's wife found her and was like, I want her to do this for the inauguration. And then I went on her Twitter, and I saw her, I think, at 40,000 followers.
Wow. So you, once again, in early.
And I just kept refreshing. Every time I refreshed, it was 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. And then I went to her Instagram.
It was like that too.
Yeah, she has 2.7 million followers. She had 1 million last night when I looked.
She couldn't even turn on her phone. She's like, I can't turn on my phone. I don't know what to do. She's doing videos from inauguration parties. She's like, oh my God, I can't even turn on my phone. It was so sweet and like,
so even when she started reading the poetry, I went on her Instagram story and she was doing the lead up to before she walked up, and she has a picture with Barack and Michelle. She's like, I'm deceased. Like, she had no idea what was about to come, which is pretty awesome, because you have this she went to Harvard. I think she just graduated.
In 2020.
23, right?
It's 23.
Wow.
And I was like, man, to experience, like, you're this really smart, talented girl that obviously has a bright future, and then 2 hours later, you're the biggest thing on earth.
Totally.
So
Totally.
The thing about her speech, and just she obviously spoke extremely well. The poetry's amazing. She's obviously very brilliant. She went to Harvard. Then you read about she had like a speech impediment, which is crazy. She went to New Road School in Santa Monica, and her mom was a teacher, single mom, raised her, sent her. I think she grew up in Westchester and went to New Road School. So I'm like, let's see what New Road School is all about. I've heard the school. $42,000 a year. She goes to Harvard. And, we talk about how education is not the key to a path. Let me tell you, if you want to be her, you need to go to fucking a good school.
Yeah.
She literally, seeing her on stage and seeing her speak was like me. I literally looked to my wife and I was like, fuck, we might have to send these kids to private school. Because like, our kid ain't going to turn out like that. We were not like that. Look at the way I talk.
Yeah,
I don't talk like her.
Did you catch her on Anderson Cooper last night?
No, but I heard it was amazing.
So she gets on, probably from her hotel room. I don't know where she was, but it was live. It's pretty late. And she's just like so articulate. Like I was blown away by the poetry, but I was more blown away by the interview. To have that kind of poise and confidence, like you're on CNN. Like that wasn't even conceivable 5 hours ago.
So the takeaway is
they don't teach that at community
and then
college.
you should have seen Anderson Cooper's reaction.
Yeah.
He was in disbelief.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you're just amazing.
and in her poem, she said she wants to be president.
Yeah.
I'll vote now.
And Hillary Clinton already endorsed her.
But how amazing is it? And once again,
Is
sorry.
that good or bad?
She might need to
Wrong direction. Get an endorsement from somebody else. Anybody
Listen,
else.
QAnon, calm down. I don't want to be ridiculous here, but I would argue that we're in this climate, we're elevating voices like that, and under the Trump climate, we're elevating Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
And find people on both sides with hoods.
Yeah, like when you think about like who did we hear about? What young people making a change did we hear about?
And the Trump administration, none.
Charlottesville.
Yeah.
That's what we enraged. Instead, we could have uplifted our people.
It's just cool, man. I just think like, I don't know, like people could call it like corny or what I guess they call liberal snowflakes, call it whatever you want, but like having some fucking hope and like optimism and showing American greatness is fucking cool.
Yeah, and like,
Think about how many people, because she, single mother, probably didn't grow up with a lot, even though she got great education.
Yeah.
How inspiring is that for an entire generation of kids that are like, whoa, I'm in this like tiny apartment, but if I work hard, I can be her.
Yeah, you need to go to Harvard. But
she had no hand-me-outs. It's not like she was the son of like a president
I agree.
or whatever, right?
I think what got me excited, that an education still matters. Because we can point to all these really successful people and all this money and all. She's obviously not motivated by money, but like
she's about to make a lot of it.
She's about to make gobs of it.
The book went to #1 on Amazon.
Yeah, #1 and 2, both her books.
That's a vlog I want to see. I want to see her last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean her Instagram stories is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just like you have to see it. And
I mean, like, what's next for her? I'm sure.
Whatever
I don't
she
know
wants.
if she's rep by one of the talent agencies, but I would assume William Morris and CIA are like pounding her, like trying to get a hold of her.
She'll get a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Netflix, she's the perfect for Netflix. Go give her a $25 million advance, lock her down for the next decade.
Yep.
She'll only be 33 years old.
Yeah.
The book deals fucking up the ass. So she does she had a reading of Last Stop on Market Street, which is a book we read, Dominic. We just put it, she read it on IGTV. We just put it there, and Dominic just sat and watched her last night.
You started throwing books at Dominic last night, huh?
Oh, well, he loves it.
Read up, kid.
Funny enough, as all those shit I give him for being a difficult person, the one thing he loves is reading, and like we'll read literally like I when I say I don't read adult books. I read like 25 kids books a night.
Yeah.
We have to read to this kid like an hour a day, and so I was like, oh my God, she's reading books. I can take a break. Yeah. So during dinner, we have to read to him to eat. Otherwise, he won't eat. So we have to
funny.
literally read books and books and books. So she's reading a book that we read at home. I just put it there, and he was like, okay, what's next? And I was like, I don't know if she has more, but like the power that she potentially could have to just make reading cool, which I think a lot of young people struggle with, is so amazing. Obviously, book writing, Netflix, whatever. And by the way, I don't like. No one wants to say this because it's probably not cool, but like she's good looking.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful.
Yeah, which I think, I mean, that helps.
Good looking people are really, really fucking successful. Like the nerds are the nerds, but once you're hot and a nerd, you're like...
Yeah, I looked at her, I was like, geez, she has everything going for her.
The trajectory of her life just changing overnight. She was going to be successful either way. Right? She'd already written books and she graduated from Harvard and she's obviously...
On her
freaking
path,
brilliant. She would have been successful, and maybe it would have taken a little longer.
Maybe 5 more years.
Now it's like she can pick whatever she wants to do. She wants to go write TV shows, she can do that. She wants to go write poetry books, she can do that.
Yeah.
She wants to go do a speaking tour around the world, she can do that.
Plus, if I would, I mean, just arguing from the like completely non-emotional like business side is like, there's not a better inauguration in the history of America or hopefully the future for her to shine.
Yeah.
Like, meaning after the last 4 years we just had, for her to get up there and read that is like blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like another, even after 4 more years of a Democrat, and then, you know, let's say Joe Biden gets reelected and a young woman gets up there and reads a poem, it just might not have as much impact. I feel like that was the moment, almost maybe from the whole inauguration, that stood out as like, wow, change.
No, that was not the biggest moment.
What was
the
it?
biggest moment was the meme from Bernie Sanders.
Oh my gosh, Bernie.
And that, unfortunately, might have stolen some of that thunder.
1,000%.
Even what's his name wearing the Jordan 1s got quite a, that was probably third.
That was third.
It was probably Bernie, poetry, Jordan 1s.
Jordan
Yes.
Bernie Sanders, if you haven't seen it by now, you must
You're
be living
living
under a
under a
rock.
rock.
Yeah.
It's like-
Bernie Sanders sitting, so I first saw it right when it happened, and they panned to him and someone made a comment, and then immediately there's a picture of him sitting cross-legged, wearing a mask, cold, and the joke was, this could have been an email.
That's good. That's this could have been an email in physical form.
Yes.
It's just like funny to me. Like, what are you doing, Bernie? Like, I like it. I know that his people like it, but like, what is he doing?
I just don't think he cares.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't.
He's Larry David.
But like,
He
bro,
wore this
he's about to be, you know, going hard for like all the shitty ones.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to be presentable, Bernie. You know what
I think that's his charm.
Oh my God.
He
I
had
think
his
you're right.
suit on under the coat.
See, Tim's defending.
So here's the
That's
thing.
the demo.
People were blowing him for like the mittens he wore. Like people were just being so mean. Come on. It's just it's freezing cold. He's an old man. Let him wear his mittens.
Okay, it makes
One
sense.
of his mittens.
When I hear that from Tim's mouth, it makes perfect sense, and it's probably the smartest thing he could have done. Perfect.
But a couple quick facts. So the jacket he was wearing in that is a jacket he additionally worn another time where he
another
went
meme.
mean.
Oh no!
Crazy, yeah.
The
The
ultimate
one-
faux pas.
Yeah, so he did it twice in the same jacket, just went virally on memes. And then the mittens
might
themselves are now, it's like coming out, this lady who made them, she sent them to him like 2 years ago. It's made from like recycled material, and now her like shop is blowing up.
A lot of people blew up yesterday.
Yeah. It was
What a day.
But like, look, we're all excited. We're having fun. That's
What happened? What happened in the last inauguration? I feel like nothing.
No, it was like people were tense and people were angry, and I get it. Like we were angry. Maybe his followers were happy, and they had that same feeling that we have right now that things are about to change.
Yep.
I'm sure they did, and they felt good leaving the inauguration that like we're heading in the right direction. Now, you know, we're seeing. I don't know. I just feel like the ability to give shine a light on someone other than yourself is real leadership. And just the fact that this young woman stole the show is amazing. Yeah. That's great. Your whole job as a president is to like uplift your people, not be bigger than your people.
So then the guy just jumps in there, jumps on a Zoom meeting and says, "You be an asshole, you're fucking fired."
Yeah.
We're calming the damn temperature around here. Here's my first. So he like aggressively toned down or tried the animosity. And then what else? He sat down and just signed, like we said, just executive order. Masks,
my God.
This, that.
National mask mandate, a full-on rejigging of the COVID vaccine rollout, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord.
Sorry about that.
Just all these things that were just things that Trump had done kind of to rip Obama from day one. He came back guns blazing, probably within 15 minutes, got his pen ready.
Yeah,
and he's like, I don't know DocuSign for me. Give me a fucking pen.
Yeah, his hand was probably black and blue.
He signed another 10 today. Right before I got here, he was just signing away on CNN. But one thing you can at least say confidently is whether you agree with some of his policies or not, at 78, he's doing these things because this is what he actually believes.
Yeah.
He has no agenda at this point.
Yeah.
He's president. He's not a two-term president. He's a one-term president that is just like, he's been doing politics for 60 years.
This is
it. This is basically like, these are the issues I care about and how I think about it. And it's not like, I don't think he's going to be bribed by lobbyists and have hidden agendas for what he wants to do after office.
Yeah.
There's, at least it's pure.
It sure seems like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole story of, isn't it his thing that after finding people on both sides is when he decided to run? Or am I mixing up that story?
It might be, right? Yeah.
I think that either way, the story is that he just was so disgusted by all of the hatred that he was like, I have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last part of the inauguration talk is from my deep QAnon research. Reporting live from the mom's basement.
Yeah.
I believe that yesterday was actually a big blow to QAnon because there were promises within the conspiracy that he wouldn't be inaugurated.
Yeah.
Something would happen.
The military was going to take over, right?
Yeah, and it was fact that it wasn't going to happen, and so I think a lot of QAnoners today are having a bit of an identity crisis.
Yes, and I mean, even the pardon list, it wasn't Blockbuster. I mean, sure, Lil Wayne, Kodak Black.
Yeah.
Not Kodak Black. It was Kodak Black.
Kodak Black.
Kodak Black was on there. There's several USC connected folks. Bob Zangrillo, who's the big Miami guy.
Fight on.
That he got indicted in the USC bribery scheme. He was let go.
How about Snoop Dogg got the founder of Death Row off?
What?
Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
Got the other founder other than Suge of Death Row Records.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of people who got.
He's done a lot for rap.
I just gotta say, he's in a lot for rap.
Yeah.
And number one is Snoop Dogg talking shit and then making phone calls.
Yeah.
And also Rock Nation CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd that go down? I saw that.
That seems very.
Some people might be making some phone
Mr.
calls.
Sean Carter?
You would think.
Yeah. What did the Rock Nation CEO do to go to jail?
Was it Jay-Z that said I'm at the Trump International asked for me?
Yeah.
Might still be there.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't see the Snowdens or the Julian Assanges or,
Those are so easy to just get public favor.
You want to know this theory that makes total sense is he would have turned the Republican Party against him. So when it comes to this impeachment follow through in the Senate and stuff like that, he would have fucked himself because they would have been like, all right, screw you.
Yeah.
That was the...
Got it.
Which I get. That makes sense.
I mean, the pardon list to me was not egregious. I don't think it's crazy.
No.
I didn't feel like...
here's the thing.
Bill Clinton probably did worse.
That's what I'm saying.
probably.
It's easy to get outraged, but if you look at every other president's pardon list,
Yeah, when I saw the pardon list, I was like, okay, nothing crazy. There's a lot of people that deserve to get clemency, got it. And, whatever, Bob Zangrillo...
But I didn't even get why Trump would even have the decency to let go some of these prisoners who... wrongfully convicted, or why does he even care? That's what I don't get.
I think Trump really cares about his
image.
And if that means that he cares, this may sound ridiculous, but what Kim Kardashian thinks of him for the future or what Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z, I think he cares. I think he's really
he's that
so
petty
you think
that.
Snoop and Jay-Z are going to be at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah.
They might have to go say thanks.
Yeah.
You saw Kodak had to do a tweet.
Yeah.
He did tweet.
Yeah.
We know how the Trump administration asks for public thank yous.
Yeah.
We know that from some internal conversations.
Yeah.
So
they just want public recognition.
But are these one and dones thank yous, or do you think they got to carry them out for quite some time?
I think a performance.
I think people won't do more. They'll be like, all right, I'll give you that, but that's about it. But they definitely ask for it. It's literally if someone's like, yo, Pete, can you send me a Menlo box? And you're like, yeah, but you guys shout me out.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
The kid UCLA basketball players got caught for shoplifting in China. He got them home, but they had to do a press conference saying, "Thank you, Donald Trump."
Thank you, Dictator Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to address something really quick. Hello, everybody. It is your boy Pete. I am back here, and I have something to say to all of you. If you won a prize on the award show live on Twitch on Group Chat Pod, twitch.tv/Group Chat Pod, go subscribe. If you won a prize, have no fear. They will be sent out. The whole thing was to be not to send them before I left for holiday because it was going to be a mess, and I didn't want any packages to get lost in the mad rush of packages getting out before the holiday. So I was like, great, I'll come back after the little vacay I took. But then, as you all heard in the beginning of this episode, I got stuck in Atlanta. So that is why packages have not been sent out. That's why it's not happened. So my apologies to all of you. If you won a prize and haven't got it yet, that is the reason why. Have no fear, those are coming. The second thing is our friends over at the Menlo House just dropped their winter capsule collection. Redo that, Tim. Our friends over at the Menlo House just dropped their brand new winter capsule collection. Elevate your clothes with some of their most luxurious pieces yet. The new capsule collection is full of must-have pieces for your winter wardrobe. Trench coats, pants, leather jackets, New Republic, socks, and more. If you watched on YouTube here or will see any of the clips, Dee's rocking that nice leather jacket. That is one of them. A lot of great pieces over there to still add to your winter wardrobe. Plus, the new pants they released are really, really great. Little cargo pocket on the side. Great fitting. If you thought those all-day pants were good from Gren Running Club, you're going to be blown away by these pants. Okay. That's it. That's it for me. Head over to themenloclub.com. You'll find it there. That's all. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be reading the ads again. Tim, are you happy that I'm reading the ads again?
Oh, yeah.
Tim, you don't look very happy.
Oh, this is thrilling. This is the best part of the pod.
I feel like you're forcing this just because I'm putting you on the spot.
No, everyone just listens to the podcast for this one moment.
I think so. I mean, it only makes sense. Why else would you listen?
Yeah.
Do you want some of the winter collection? Do you want some of the winter capsules?
I do.
Have you heard it's good? It's really good.
I've heard good things.
It's really good.
From people.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to quit with the babble and get you back to the Group Chat Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. See you later.
Okay, and then lastly on good old Trumper, what's going on with Trump and social media? So like from here on out, is he just going to be banned or how much longer? I see Facebook has like an internal court that's deciding what's going to happen with him there.
So they built an oversight committee internally, and that committee is going to give a ruling on whether Trump should be banned going forward, and Mark Zuckerberg or senior executives cannot overturn it.
Do you think that's true? Because isn't like all of Facebook structured for no one to be able to override Zuck?
Definitely from a shareholder perspective, but the only thing is if you're going to create this Supreme Court, it needs to be similar to the Supreme Court where it's a job for life and no one can fire you.
Yeah.
But just asking, which I agree, maybe it is and maybe it works that way and maybe he honors it. But at the end of the day, if shareholder-wise nobody can make him do anything, can anyone really make him do anything?
Meaning if shareholders and the board demand something.
Yeah, like the bottom line would be if he has final say when it comes to shareholders and the board, then does the Supreme Court really matter?
I think this is optics. I think you're right.
Well, let's see. I'm curious. They have 90 days to decide the fate of the Donald on the book.
Yep.
So we'll have to wait and see really how.
A judge today said Amazon doesn't have to host Parler.
Yeah.
Fuck them, man. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, and I mean, they were given so many warnings. They're
100 warnings.
100 warnings. 100 warnings. The amount of hateful messages that were the most insane things. No one's going to allow it. Parler is now hosted by a Russian company.
Good for them. How nice was it to enjoy yesterday without the insufferable tweets?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think part of the reason why things just feel a little lighter and like cooled down right now is because you don't have all of Trump's bullshit of what he would have been saying about all this.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some peace and quiet.
It's really nice.
Kick him off.
Go golf with Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg. Leave us alone.
Beat it, bro. Say your thank yous. Hole up in Mar-a-Lago and fucking dodge all these cases coming your way.
Yeah, because it ain't going to stop.
Jeez. Okay. Okay, listen, we've been doing this for the last couple of weeks, but this is a slightly different tone, I feel like. We got to check in on crypto world.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with Janet Yellen suggesting we sort of slow down on the crypto because it's mainly used for illegal financing.
Yeah.
It's scary that our Treasury Secretary can't understand very basic information about
So that's how you see it.
I think she's a clown.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
She is a clown, but she is a Treasury Secretary, and she wants to put regulation, which I actually think regulation is actually beneficial.
Sure, but what's the regulation? It's decentralized. Just you realize the bull case for crypto is that
You can't do that.
exactly. And imagine if it was just every other country but the U.S. It's still a $10 trillion asset class.
But isn't the whole point that there's no way to regulate it?
Yes, that's right. You'd have to regulate. I mean,
No, there are ways that you could do it. You could tax it differently.
Yeah.
There's tons of ways you can regulate it. You just can't regulate the system
and it's
itself.
the most traceable way. Do you know what's not traceable? Cash. Stop printing cash, Janet.
Hey, Janet.
Well, either way, here's the
Why do you
challenge.
have dollar bills that can't be traced?
Hey, yo, Janet.
They'll tell
lot
you
of
you can't
those.
trace it.
How can you trace if I give you $10 and you give $10 to Pete? And
No,
Pete
I
gives
know, but you can
$10?
technically track a dollar bill.
Launder
They have
that
serial
shit.
numbers on every single.
You can track the dollar, but you can't track
where it goes. I agree with
so
that.
stupid. Janet Yellen, go learn finance before
Sure.
you become Treasury Secretary.
So either way, the crypto's
Fair.
down 25% off its highs, and I'm sure I don't think it has anything to do with Janet Yellen. It's probably just it went up too
Profit
much.
takers.
Yeah, people have to take their money and move on. But it's I think trading at like 30,000 now, off the high of 42,000. Anand's always been bullish on BlackRock buying Bitcoin.
Yep.
They, in a recent filing, said there's a shot. They're letting their investors know that they're potentially thinking about trading Bitcoin in the future. They have not made a purchase yet, but they're just warming their community up that it is a possibility.
Okay.
So that's obviously a
And
very
BlackRock manages $7.8 trillion. Trillion.
yeah. So if
Decent
they do
amount.
anything, if they do anything, they're not doing with $50 million, right? They got to put billions of dollars to work. So that's a very bullish sign for crypto. I also read another article on why Ethereum could aggressively explode over the next 12 months, and it was super interesting because I think there's such a different as you dig deeper into crypto. Like the bull case for Bitcoin is that it's a store of value.
Mm-hmm.
And the bull case for Ethereum is that it is, we've talked about it, it is the oil that's used to kind of fund this new or fuel this new internet that's being built.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the stat on it?
So Ethereum now settles $12 billion daily in transactions, which is $3 billion more than Bitcoin. So the way what you extrapolate from that is that all the development is actually happening on Ethereum, and Bitcoin people are just buying and holding. But Ethereum is actually being used to develop products.
Got it.
And even there was a stat on how the fees being generated from using it is just a staggering number the first 2 weeks of January. And the way this analyst explained it was very similar to if you view this as a big of opportunity as like a SaaS software company, it should be trading at a multiple of that. So they projected out the revenue for the entire year that Ethereum should be generating, and they gave it a multiple, and that's how they came up with the price target of 10,500 for Ethereum to rise to. So it's an interesting way to think about it, but it is decentralized. It's not like one person is going to make all that money, but it's just, if you dig deep into what's happening with staking and mining and just that whole world, I mean, it is fucking fascinating. You can make crazy money if you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, if you're willing to put in the work and just stare at it 20 hours a day, you can make a ton of money.
Yeah.
But you actually have to do the work, and you have to watch it 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You can't go to sleep.
No.
Because these things swing at like 3 a.m, 20%.
Yeah.
You have no
You
idea.
wake up and you're just like record
You got
high,
light.
record low. But yeah, there's a lot of excitement in crypto. With that being said, stock market's still on fire. Your bellwethers, your Amazons, your Googles, all of a sudden woke up the last 48 hours and just exploded.
Yeah,
all
we're
to record
woke.
highs.
Feel good about the future.
Oh, you kidding me? This is a steamrolling boat, and
We
you either
feel
hop on or
good.
get the fuck off.
That wasn't Trump's economy.
No. Biden stock market, it only goes up.
Record highs.
It only goes up. Obama started that shit.
Yeah.
Biden picked it up.
Yeah.
Come on.
To be fair, the stock market's just gone straight the fuck up for 13 years.
Yeah. Since
I don't really know who can claim
That's
that.
also true. Yeah. Okay. And then also, what's this story about Andreessen Horowitz, which is a massive venture capital firm, looking to do content?
Yeah.
Get into the media game? I'm just saying, hey, we could be
So
Andreessen Horowitz chat real easy.
yeah, and here it is. This is what I think no one uncovered better than Barstool and Dave Portnoy. Having a following for your content affects your wealth dramatically. So let's think about all the people that have done it in the last year. Dave Portnoy, Elon Musk, Chamath. Everyone's going to do this now. The same reason why we started this podcast 3 years ago. We know it has an impact on our business.
Yeah.
And to build a following, like if Andreessen Horowitz, they're so active at Clubhouse, I'm sure that's created deal flow. I'm sure that's created all these new opportunities. And now they're seeing like, fuck, we should just be our own little media company, put out content, put out things. And they've always been good about that. They do a lot of blog posts. But like no one reads blogs. I'm sorry, no one's reading that shit. You got to do podcasts, you got to do video, you got to do these things to reach a larger audience. And this is the future. Everybody has to put out content. Otherwise, you're going to be irrelevant. And this is a more crass way of saying it, is everyone's trying to become famous because it's good for fucking business.
Yeah.
It's
we
great.
live in an attention world, man.
Yeah.
If you're top of mind.
The richest man in the world so happens to be one of the most famous men in the world. That would never have happened 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Andreessen does a great job on content. So it seems like the natural next step. They have a weekly podcast where they bring all their partners on to talk about whatever what's going on in technology. They have blogs, which Dee doesn't read, but a lot of other people read.
Yeah. Nerds.
So it makes sense that this is the next step. And it's just fascinating, like Mark Andreessen specifically, the guy's made so much money, but they're still so passionate about all these things.
I mean, Elon Musk realized it. I'm telling you that him becoming the richest man in the world is equally correlated to his presence on social media. If he was not he's a cult leader, right? If he wasn't that shotgun personality and he was just this electric car maker, no, he's not. But he knows how to play into pop culture, and I think they know that. And all these dudes, they all have egos. They all want to be richer. They want more attention. They want more fame. They want it all. And you have to be a public figure in today's world. The next set of richest people in the world are going to be famous. They're not going to just be like the Koch brothers. We've never heard of them. Like it's going to be, Chamath's going to fall into more wealth because of his fame.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, and it's also cool now to be a smart business guy.
Yeah.
That I would say 15 years ago wasn't a thing.
Plus, you just can find your audience now. You know, like it's like who was gonna, like what platform, what TV network was gonna give Chamath a show?
Right.
You know, it's like
Nobody.
So now Chamath can build an audience of millions of people that care deeply about what Chamath would do. And the great thing for them is there never would have been a place for them to be introduced to Chamath, and there never would have been a place for Chamath to be introduced to them. But it's a huge outlet.
It's also, the other thing I was thinking about is you talk to a random 24, 25-year-old and they're Robinhood day trading. They're doing all these things. They just care about money way more than I think we did when we were 24, 23.
People only care about money.
But that's changed in the last decade.
Because I think you know now for the first time that you might actually have a shot
Yeah,
at it.
you could be rich.
You know, like it was always just like, oh, I don't know, stocks, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. My family doesn't do that.
This might be a complete sidetrack, but have you heard what's going on in Snapchat?
With the creators?
Yes.
How much they're making? Yeah.
Do you know what they're giving away in the fund?
No.
They've been giving away $1 million a day. They haven't like publicly really said this. Dyrdek pretty much released it on his pod, and he's like, why haven't you been talking about this? $1 million a day to the top 100 videos on their similar TikTok platform. They had a kid from Chicago who's 19 years old that has made $2.9 million fucking dollars posting a video every 5 minutes because it limits you to 5 minutes in between videos.
Well, bro,
That's
stay out of
its sole
fucking Palm
dream.
Springs and start making some videos.
I was trying. None of them went viral.
Jesus.
But I mean,
But
that's
it
in
is-
addition to it. It's like this
Yeah.
access to this money is like right there for.
Yeah, I mean,
but if I think about back when we graduated college, yeah, sure, I went to investment banking, so maybe I cared about money more than other people at the time. So it's not me, but my peers, all they cared about was where the happy hour was,
Yeah.
and what bars are everyone going to. Now I feel like every kid's like, what's the next hustle?
everyone's talking about when you hang out with a group of young people, it's Robinhood, it's crypto, it's Shopify, it's content creation,
Sports
it's
betting.
It's all about money.
So you think the reason why everyone cares about money is just everyone finally learned you can make it, and it's so much easier to make it now than it was 15
Well, you
years
also
ago?
see people that look like you, same intelligence as you, that are making real money. Like this
People
kid in
dumber than
fucking
you.
Chicago.
Yes.
Making $2 million. You're like, we met all these young creators. Anyone can be them. Fucking anybody.
I just think about Pete. How old are you?
24.
So 24-year-old Pete from our generation that moved to LA to basically be in social media and film and make videos is like talking about plug power and Tesla.
Yeah.
That person 13 years ago. No
Girls in
chance.
clubs.
But think
Girls
about
in
it.
clubs. That's all.
Think about it though. 13 years ago, there was no Robinhood for Pete to casually be on. There was no cool guy like Davey Portnoy talking about stocks only going up. There was no group chat. There was no access to any podcast, to none of that. And it's like, and also Pete would have just had this belief that he's not the type of person that's an investor, that's a blah, blah, blah. He doesn't know anything about that. So he's just going to make videos and try to bone girls. I really think,
Pretty shallow.
I didn't say you now. I said you 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like I'm gonna watch sports, chase
1000%.
girls, and do my little film videos.
Yeah.
Where
If you
we're-
think about like the photographers we knew when Reckless started,
not a stock to save their lives.
all they cared about was shooting famous people to get into the club to
Yeah,
get
trying to
girls.
get hot girls to take their shirts off for photos.
Yes.
But
Saving that one.
it's like I think that we like really drastically, and this kind of ties into inauguration. This is something that I believe heavily in. Is like when we think about a lot of this stuff, we think very logically, but the power of belief and like people seeing someone like them doing something and believing they can do it too is so powerful.
Yeah.
That's why Amanda Gorman is so powerful. That's why all this stuff. That's why like life in poverty and in the hood and that stuff is so detrimental. It's just, man, like seeing young people get rich and blah, blah, blah. You think you have a shot and you can learn a little bit now. And there's a lot of things I think people are learning like, oh, these people were never really that smart. They just had the access to the information
Yeah.
that I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's
I'm
great.
I'm not saying it as a criticism.
No, I know
just
you're
think
not.
it's fascinating that these types of people, when we were in our early 20s, would never in a million years talk about cryptocurrency, even though it didn't exist, but like
Money.
whatever the equivalent is.
No, I think it's great. And I know you're not criticizing. I'm more saying like just to people, because it ties into the whole Trump thing. It ties into if your mentality is like us, white people were left behind and everyone's intruding on or whatever, it's just it's such a poisonous mentality to be teaching those people.
In fact, the opposite should be, which is there's more opportunity than ever.
Yes. Go and look at like your opportunity to connect with people of different races and cultures and learn and expand your life. And look at how amazing America is. Not like, yo, you're right. They did steal your shit. Fuck them. Let's wait for factories to come back. Like you're just poisoning people.
Yeah. It's sad.
Anywho, we're out of it now. It's a new day.
Yeehaw. And everyone's
Download
getting rich.
Robinhood and give it a shot. Okay, you guys want to do winners, losers content?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Go ahead, Dee. What's yours? Mine's going to be kind of cliche here. I got to go inauguration. What's yours?
Mine is a little company called PG Lang, started by Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
They Dave Free was, I believe, Kendrick's manager
And creative.
and creative director. And they started this ad agency, or marketing agency. And I was like, okay, whatever. They dropped a campaign for Calvin Klein last week. That was fucking incredible.
Yep.
Like, Calvin Klein has always been known for their creative, and mainly in photography and mainly in just getting really big celebrities. They're not afraid to spend the money. So I would never give Calvin Klein a credit when it came to that. They just, okay, they appreciate star power. Cool. This set of videos that Dave Free directed are incredible. There's one with Taco from Odd Future that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's just so well done. And it goes back to, we're talking about diversity a lot, and I'm the number one person that brings race up. And the reason why I bring it up is that it just showed when you leave your little bubble and you give someone else a shot, look what can happen. So a guy like Dave Free would have not gotten Calvin Klein in the old days to be a client. Obviously, it helps. Kendrick is his business partner, but like you just saw it. This is the best campaign Calvin Klein's probably ever put out in their company history. And it's so brilliant. It's so well done. You should watch all the videos they did with all these different people. It's phenomenal.
Well, also, you dummies, it's like if you're gonna, take from Black culture, why don't go get the rapper to be in your campaign? Go get the guy who directs their videos to go direct yours. Like really like support it. Don't just take from it. You know, like I know that's something that's been talked about a lot, and I think we'll see more of a change. But I think Dave Free, because I'll say this, this is gonna sound lame, but when I first met Kendrick, when he was just a kid stopping by the Fantasy Factory that had just signed to Interscope and was really talented, no album, no nothing. It was always him and Dave Free. And Dave Free has continued after all these years, so has Kendrick, but to be so friendly and he's a great person.
Yes.
And I feel like he's one of the most slept on, from my opinion, one of the most slept on people in the industry. Because as far as I know, he's responsible for a large portion of Kendrick's creative.
And I think the creative's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's like 50% of why Kendrick is Kendrick.
I mean, think about that Coachella performance we saw where there was all the people. Like, it's top-notch creative. And I know he does a significant portion of it. And he's just a really mellow, sort of humble guy that I don't think goes out and tries to get all the attention. But this is just him having a chance. That's an incredible choice for a winner, because him really being recognized on this level, I think, is just like long overdue.
Mark my words, Dave Free will be one of the biggest directors in Hollywood within 5 years.
He should be.
He will be doing whatever Bad Boys 4 or Avengers, whatever it is. That shit is so creative and his shit is so good. He's a blockbuster movie director.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I've got to spend some time with him. He's the nicest guy ever.
Nicest guy ever. You wouldn't even think... And he's just,
I think he has to change that.
He's just one of the friends.
Don't hang around D.
Yeah, he'd be like, when next time Anand goes, he'd be like,
yeah, just throw a couple.
Like, you know who I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing those videos. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You getting vaccinating your arm hurts?
Yeah.
You're
cool
a pussy.
story. Cool story, man. You're asking me to go grab you a vodka soda?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kung fu pussy.
Anyway, yeah, that was an incredible choice. Anand.
My winner is Paul Ripke.
Ooh.
So Paul sent me a voice note last night.
He loves these voice notes. Paul, stop sending them.
He sent them to me too.
Bro.
I thought I was the only one. I felt kind of special.
Sent me a voice note. And
Got a lot of free time.
He said, thank you for introducing me to Clubhouse. I guess he was early from Germany's perspective on Clubhouse.
Yeah, I tuned into one of his channels the other day.
Yes.
Didn't understand
Doctor
a damn thing.
And I'm like, apparently Clubhouse has gone absolutely viral in Germany.
Yeah.
And he is the face of Germany Clubhouse.
This guy.
And he said he's gone viral in the country. He sent me some memes. I didn't understand half of it because half of it's in German. But Paul Ripke's name and Clubhouse were the two things I recognized. And
So he's a visionary.
yeah, so he's like a hero in Germany now.
48,000 followers on Clubhouse.
He had
All because of
41,000
Anand.
last night.
48,000.
So that he's like the Amanda Gorman of Clubhouse.
Wow. I love that Paul is like Paul's an incredibly smart, like forward-thinking guy, like very, very much so. But I don't know. I get the impression that maybe there's not a lot of that in Germany, because in Germany, Paul is like
blockbuster. Well,
blockbuster.
I think it's more of like, look, in a lot of these things, Americans end up setting the trends on it, and like, if you're smart and you live in a different country or reach a different audience, it's you should take and like. It's like like a lot of American designers do with Japanese style.
Yeah, you're right.
You go to Japan, you get like, oh my God, this is what Japanese people are wearing?
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm bringing it to America.
He's good at that, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're doing Clubhouse here. Let me take it over there. They're doing. Let me go to the iPhone release. Let me go to the.
He's gonna be doing fucking poetry tomorrow.
He will. Okay, another good
for you,
one.
Paul.
Well, I'm gonna just go super super cliche here and say that the American people are the winners.
Okay.
Because I hope, I mean, who knows? I know there'll be a lot of bitterness still, but I hope that this change of tone, I hope people just realize, it's sort of like when you hang out with really bitter people and you start to get a little bitter yourself and then you just don't even realize it. And then when you go hang out with really positive, optimistic people, you're like, oh, I like this better.
Yeah.
And I hope that just sort of happens. I think some people definitely felt that yesterday. But I hope there's just this tone of like, yo, like, yes, shit is hard. Yes, people are left behind. Yes, there's issues. But like, it's better to approach it with some optimism than to all start hating each other.
Yeah.
So we're all winners.
Yeah.
Congrats to all of us. Okay, losers.
I'm still like so fascinated with Amanda Gorman.
Gorman, yep.
So my losers are people that don't go to Harvard undergrad.
Wow.
Like,
So all of us.
So you're a loser. So you just
I'm a
called yourself,
loser.
You're a loser.
I just like I looked at her at 23 years old. I'm like, I mean, she's like your age, Pete, and look at you.
I know. We are two different people.
I
We could not be farther
22.
apart.
Yeah, 22, 20, whatever. And I'm just like, there are 22-year-old kids that talk like that,
Yeah.
think like that
She talk like-
exist. We're all fucking losers.
They should
I
talk
just
like-
tell you, I want to also point out one thing. I think there's a lot of 22, 23-year-old kids that talk like that and think like that didn't go to Harvard or didn't have a chance.
Introduce me to them. I'd love to meet them.
Okay, I'll try to find. Hey, anyone out there?
I mean, the 22-year-olds I see on TikTok,
I know,
ain't
but
it.
I think that I
They're
think,
fucking morons.
I think our opinion is just kind of skewed, and like it takes highlighting those people to remember that they exist.
I agree. I'm with that. It just so happened like this perfect woman comes out and she went to Harvard and she
Yeah, I
just.
think there's a lot more at Harvard, but I think there's a
Well,
few scattered. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying like there was a young man at God, I forgot if it was election day. Whoever opened for Barack Obama at some event, maybe it was during the election. I watched it online, and Barack was speaking, and a young man came and spoke. He was amazing, and he was very inspiring and very articulate.
Harvard.
No, I don't think he was, and I think I agree to you. I agree with you. There are like young black kid, and he was amazing. It's just something about like being ultra polished.
Yeah.
That like a Harvard gives you.
Yeah.
That like you
Dee's
just
basically saying everything I stand against.
yes.
I know, me too, kind of though. And I just also think that it's like
I don't give a shit about Harvard.
think about the people that are that good that don't get. And I'm not saying
But here's the
I'm
thing:
saying
I'll tell you from a personal experience. When I got to college, I did not feel intellectually superior, like inferior in any way. I felt culturally inferior, and
Why?
I felt
because he wasn't white, right?
well, not even that. I felt like I wasn't as polished as a person because, like, maybe the way we were exposed to things and what maybe we weren't well traveled or we weren't well.
But you're also just not a polished person.
what?
You're just not that type of person.
I know, but I'm saying, but I agree.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people that would want to be like you when they grow up. There's even people that are coming up right now, probably that listen to you that are more towards the polished side and wish they could be a little looser like you.
I get that. I get that part. Pussy.
You just said kung fu pussy on that podcast.
I know. I'm not Amanda Gorman. I want to be. I'd rather be her. Is my point.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't think I would say that if I were you.
wouldn't say that.
You have a gift.
No, but it's different. I think I really appreciate someone that's just so fucking well put together. And I feel like,
Yeah, I think it's nice to
and the
appreciate
problem
it.
is we live in a society where like a Gary Vaynerchuk is celebrated because he's giving everyone a shot, which is awesome. But there's something when you see like, you know how like there are people that we're like, oh, there's a celebrity, but that's a fucking star. Like, we've had people walk into our office and we're like, whoa.
Totally.
That's star. And like when I looked at her, I was like, damn, it just like she was glowing.
But don't you also think that when you see Dave Portnoy?
No, I don't. I have not that feeling in my bone at all. I think
funny.
he's incredible at manipulating his circumstance for his benefit. He's incredible at it.
But he's a star.
He is a star.
He's a bona fide star.
You need to start reading some fucking books or something.
No,
if you
but
want
like-
to be polished this bad.
I know, but Dave Portnoy is not polished to me. Like Dave Portnoy is
no,
not.
I'm not saying Dave Portnoy is polished. I'm saying that it's a different type
Yes.
of star.
Okay, maybe I'm tackling from an educational standpoint. I just loved in this world where we're celebrating a lot more Dave Portnoys and Gary
But who's
Vaynerchuk.
smarter, Amanda Gorman or Dave Portnoy?
Smarter. I'm not saying that Dave Portnoy. If you count about money, Dave Portnoy is smarter. right? Because that's all we as a society care about is money.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was nice to see someone clearly not motivated by money come out on that stage and fucking.
Those are two different things, though.
And all that I'm saying for the listener, because I don't want people to just think I just said Dave Portnoy is smarter than Amanda Gorman. I'm just saying it's different.
Yeah.
She's very educated and she's very proper and and that is a
I like
type.
that. I like that.
Then why did you turn out this way?
Because I didn't go to a private school.
You did. You went to USC.
No, it starts at birth. Her mom was a teacher. You don't.
Yeah,
it's
but what you're
there's
pointing out is that there's only one pathway to success. That you have to be this polished button-up person that went to Harvard, which I think is the exact opposite.
That's absolutely not what I said. I just said Gary Vaynerchuk and Dave Portnoy of the world are proving that it doesn't matter to be successful. You can make money. Money is not my point in this conversation. It was just refreshing to see the other side, which is a well-read, well-educated, well-cultured person go up on that stage and
she's a poet.
She's a freaking poet.
I know. Why can't I like it? Why can't I like it?
No, but just model that is that the only way of.
That's my way. I like that way better.
Well, you better start getting a lot more proper then.
No, I'm talking about for more my kids. If I was going to give a pathway, I wouldn't say, here's Dave Portnoy, or you could be Amanda Gorman. I was like, fuck Dave Portnoy.
I don't know. I might tell my sons to be Portnoy and my daughters to be Gorman.
No, I mean, I just loved her path more than I liked the other path. It's more inspiring to me.
That's fair.
Because it's fucking hard work.
I think
it's not about rigging.
No, but I think it's all inspiring.
Yeah, I'm just saying I appreciate both.
Yeah,
I think that's one style. That's one style. They're both very good at those styles. There's a lot of really polished people that are boring as fuck.
Yeah.
That probably listen or have come across you or people like you and are like, I wish I had that thing that Dee has.
Sure, I'm not saying what I have is less inferior to what she has. I just really like what she has.
Well, I think the reason why we got combative is because it kind of sounded like you were saying that what you have is inferior to what she has.
In a way, I do believe that, though.
Okay, we just said two different things.
No, but in intellect, absolutely, she's a smart person. There's no doubt in my mind.
I don't know that.
I don't know that either. You also actively choose not to read.
Yeah, well, I can't be a poet.
You can still be a reader. There's still time. Listen, I'm telling you, by 50, you can be polished as shit.
Maybe by 50, I'll pick up poetry.
Dee, we can work on some poetry.
Yeah, I need to write a fucking poem.
Come on,
yeah, you're
man.
out here looking for poets. Why don't you become the poet?
Okay, fine.
Every day after the podcast, we'll work on something.
One haiku a day.
Yes,
You know what? I just gotta end it with this. At least you're fucking. This is the power of some good inspiration.
Yeah, I was inspired by her.
Yeah.
I truly was.
Go read a book this weekend.
Go read a fucking
I'm
book,
gonna read
man.
poetry. I'm not reading a book. I only read poetry.
Do some
Get some
slam
Maya
poetry.
Angelou or something. Get some.
I like my Angelo.
How about slam poetry? Do some slam poetry.
I'm not reading watching
Spoken
Def
word.
Jam.
When do we
Like,
open next episode with an open mic for Dee?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
love
read some
that.
poetry on the next episode.
Yes.
Not my own. I'm gonna steal someone.
Do you not notice the contrast? Like Dave Free, who we just celebrated, and Amanda Gorman with two exact opposite paths, and they're both extremely successful.
But you everything to you is about success and money. I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
You're talking.
Are you saying the accomplishments of Dave Free and Amanda Gorman should be measured differently?
Yes. They're different.
Because she went to Harvard?
But you also an hour
No.
ago just talked about how much money Amanda Gorman's going to make.
I agree. I mean, I know she's gonna make money because it's a business.
But that
She's
was
a
your
business
measure
now.
of success too. Is you're like, well, Netflix is going to give her the.
I know. I just liked seeing her in her raw state of like
You
just
should go
being
be a
an intellect.
professor.
I think you got to start reading. I think poetry. I think we got to work on Dee.
No, but why can't you guys aren't? You guys are haters on Amanda.
I want to see you.
You're haters. Now the drama, Pete hate Amanda Gorman.
I think I tweeted last night
So
she's an
back
absolute
after it.
star.
You're
and how
shitting
blown
all
away.
over her.
And
you
I
guys
said,
are disgrace to
You didn't
America.
I just wanna
and
help you.
disgrace to the youth.
I just wanna help you.
I cannot
I think you
believe
just-
what I'm hearing.
I think you get caught down like one idea and then you're tripling, quadrupling down on it.
I want to help you become the person you want to be. That's all I'm saying.
I
think
I'm
by
okay with
50
who I am. I'm 40 years old. I'm comfortable in my skin. I just like because Anand loves saying you don't have to go to college. You don't have to do it. You can be successful. I agree. You can make billions of dollars and never fucking read a book. I understand that point. I just liked someone who took the more traditional path and look how they turn out. It's fucking refreshing.
Yeah, and I think that's a path that you can take and you can turn out that way. But I think
It's
there's
also
a
a
lot
path
of.
that is not accessible to everyone. How many kids is Harvard
I
accept
agree.
a year?
I
There's a
agree.
lot of
It's
young
just nice to
women.
see that.
There's a lot of young women that could have got up on that stage, or men or whatever, that and read poetry and presented themselves equally as well that didn't finish high school.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I
right.
mean?
And the highlighting is a great point about that. I'd be surprised if there are.
You're just hot on Harvard right now. I'm gonna get you a Harvard hoodie.
Yeah, I need a Harvard hoodie.
You know,
maybe I'd feel
if
a
you're
lot
having
better.
Culture problems.
Yeah,
We'll
I want to
get
get the
you.
license for Harvard. Make merch.
Maybe I'll get you a license plate cover.
Alumnus.
Yeah.
Alumni. Get you a sticker,
Okay, that
license
was
plate.
fun. Anand, who's your loser?
Just the obvious, Donald Trump.
yeah.
And I think the highlight of yesterday was when Obama, Bush, and Clinton did that conversation,
Yeah.
and they were talking about how they were each predecessors of each other, or whatever. It was Clinton, then Bush, then Obama.
Yeah.
And George Bush was talking about how Bill Clinton was amazing at the transition and how much
Yep.
their team helped the Bush team. And Obama said, despite how fierce our differences were, President Bush and President Obama, he was nothing but gracious in
Yep.
helping transition the country over.
Yeah.
And we got a guy that just left.
Yeah.
And it was the clear condemnation of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, how selfish you have to be that you don't care about making sure the country. They walked into an empty slate.
Yeah.
Like, imagine just saying, like, you got to go run the United States of America and you're not given any information. Thank God Joe Biden's been in politics for 60 years, so you get a clue.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just I don't know what more sign you need to show that this guy doesn't give a fuck about anything but him.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Good call. Okay, mine is anyone who has already Twittered their loyalty to the Patriot Party. Don't know if you've heard about it or not, but there's rumors swirling around that Donald Trump has been spending the last week or so while doing nothing, planning his own party, third party, Patriot Party.
Wow.
The funny thing is, apparently the Patriot Party is the name of a socialist party that existed in the 80s, which, oopsie. But
Oh my God.
but yeah, and people have already came out and said, Patriot Party sounds good to me, I'm in.
Okay.
So you're
I'm sure
fucking
there's
first on the idiot train.
71 million people that would join that party.
I mean, there's got to be at least 65, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that's really good that people are saying, I mean, obviously it's great for Democrats because break
Yeah.
that thing up.
Yeah.
Take half the Republicans.
Yeah, the Tea Party did that same problem to the Republicans years ago. It's not
you
good
go.
to fracture your party.
Okay, well, good luck.
As much as we all want a third party screws one group, one party for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, though, why it's continued to blow my mind why the Lindsey Grahams and why these people would support Trump into the ground. Because, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the only reason that they can be doing it is because they know something, whether it's Patriot Party or something else, that is going to benefit them or they're scared of down the road.
Yeah.
That's in the works.
Yeah. Well, if he's not on social media, it's going to be hard to get any party started.
Well, he said before he got on the helicopter, we'll be back in some form.
Yeah.
Okay, content.
All American. It's back. My favorite teen drama football show based out of South Crenshaw High School and Beverly Hills High School.
Nice.
Spencer, right?
Spencer Paysinger. It's loosely based on his story. He's a friend of ours. Big fan of this show. Just came back this week.
Okay, there it is.
But it's on CW, so I got to wait week after week after
Oh
week.
my God.
Yeah.
Like the old days.
The old days.
Must be mailing
It's
letters.
painful.
Okay. Anand?
I know we talked about it last week, but I rewatched the Tiger doc, and it's incredible.
Which part?
Well, you mean,
The Tiger documentary.
is there an old one or you mean
No, it came out 2 weeks ago.
But aren't we only on episode 2? Isn't there
There's
more?
only two.
There's only two.
Oh, then I'm almost done too. I got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
And the reason why I brought it up again, because I didn't bring this up last time, is I went to the U.S. Open golf tournament to watch a year and a half ago, and Tiger Woods already on the decline. He was not the Tiger that we see in the documentary, and this is my first ever golf tournament. You basically get to walk to whatever hole you want. Once you're in, it's just you follow whichever golfers you want.
Yep.
So we just camped out at one of the holes to eventually see Tiger.
Yep.
And the pandemonium that existed behind Tiger
Yeah.
was it was like the only thing I've ever seen close was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I got to see Michael Jordan at his peak.
Yeah.
And it was just chaos in the stadium.
I wish I could have seen that.
And
at some point.
Tiger, you have the entire fans of the entire course just following one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's watching.
No one's watching the other guys. And
Tiger Mania is crazy.
Every shot he hit, it's like Tiger.
Uh-huh.
Everyone screams it immediately.
grown
Get in the
men,
hole,
too.
Tiger! I saw
Yeah.
him get in the hole. Every time he would putt,
Get
they'd
in
be like,
the
get in the hole!
Yeah, even when he's teeing off, they're saying
Yeah.
getting the hole. It's like 1,000 yards away, bro. Like,
I believe that fucker's going in.
Do it.
Yeah, and the only reason I bring it up again, I was just like, I remembered, I was like, this was when he wasn't even at his close to his peak.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine when he was winning all those tournaments what it was
Did
like.
he just win something like last year?
Yeah, I thought he had
the
kind of a little
Masters
comeback.
2 years ago. Yeah.
So he's hot.
But that's
He won.
over.
Yeah, and then he had back surgery again two days ago.
So it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible documentary. Because that was a little bit before my time, or like maybe I just didn't give a shit about golf. But I'm sorry. But,
Don't worry, most people don't. It's a very low watch sport.
I know. Like I just remember the surface level of like, wow, Tiger's huge. But like
Yeah.
all the intricacies of it, I didn't realize.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how good his kid is going to be. I feel like he's like a little brawny. He's going to be a beast.
Charlie.
So he doesn't become a sex addict like his father.
It sucks that his kids have to see that doc.
That is a heart-wrenching, honestly, it's just so sad.
You just got to delete HBO Max for a couple months.
Forever.
You're gonna go to HBO Max and be like, hey, he never gets an account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, there's a button, I think you can do kids on HBO Max. You just have to hit that kids
Oh, you
button.
can?
Yeah. Like at Netflix. You
Like
can
it's
do
not on
kids
here. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about tigers, like the animal. Okay, mine. Sorry, Pete, but this one's for D.
Uh-oh.
It's a book
Okay.
called "In the Garden
You know
of
what?
Beasts."
It was better when I was not here.
Did you order that book, "In the Garden of Beasts"?
No, which one's that?
It's the Nazi Germany one.
No.
So it's
That's the one we were talking about.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. I
Okay,
didn't
so
order it, but
this book, "In the Garden of Beasts," incredible book. Very long story short, because I know most of the people just turned off the show. It's about a family from Chicago who went to live in Nazi Germany just as Hitler was taking power and starting to take over.
Like purposely?
No, the guy became the ambassador to the U.S. in Berlin.
Oh, shit.
And he wasn't even fit for the job. He was like a professor, like whatever. And he had relationships with the president, and he was like the fifth in line. And they're like, maybe this guy will do it. He's like, fuck it, I'll do it. So him and his family moved there, and it's insane. It's like he takes meetings with Hitler, and he describes one-on-one meetings with Hitler, and like his daughter. This isn't going to really be a spoiler, but his daughter becomes like a socialite in Germany and is like out with all the Nazis and all that stuff. And one of the Nazis is like, yo, Hitler needs a girlfriend. You'll be perfect. And takes her to a one-on-one date with Hitler to meet him to see if he'll date her. And like, they were so interweaved into like the come up of Hitler and Nazi Germany. It's insane.
When did they leave?
I'm not there yet. I'm like on the last couple chapters where it gets that way.
That's it.
It's
Look
insane,
forward
but-
to that movie in 6 years.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, it was. It was. People were talking about it because it's a reference to like how crazy the Trump shit got, and like how this stuff just slowly evolves into madness. Where now it's so easy to look back at. What I also didn't realize is that a lot of people in the U.S. were also very anti-Jewish, and they would like they empathized with Germany's Jew problem, as they called it, and like just said like, I don't know if they're handling it the best way.
Yeah.
But we understand it's a problem. It's like, whoa. Like when we look back at it now, we're like, how did this evil ever happen?
Yeah.
You know, it happened slowly. But
Yeah, that's why you have to squash it early.
yeah, early. That's why if you got to take them off Twitter,
Yeah.
deplatform.
yeah, because isn't it in Germany the anti-Semitism started because they didn't feel comfortable with them in society, right?
No, they were just the most successful people
Yeah,
in
they were
society.
they didn't feel comfortable at how much they were like gaining just power and powerful positions, and
yeah.
they were just doing well,
Right.
and they didn't like it.
We got some shout outs here. First to our beloved Bernard out in San Diego. Bernard is turning 33 years old. His wife wanted to give him a shout out. Diehard Kathy, we did a run club out in San Diego once in front of his store. I think last year, right before everything kind of shut down.
Yeah.
But always supports everything we do over here at Group Chat. It's also Parker, who's also his San Diego neighbor now, and they're heading out to Salt Lake City this weekend to go celebrate their birthdays. I think Parker's turning 27. Wow, Parker's 27 now.
What do they both have in common? Socks.
They both started in the sock industry. Bernard's a retailer. Go check him out in downtown San Diego. Parker is over at Feet. Taylor offers business partner. Happy birthday, guys.
Oh, the 27th is Parker's birthday. I don't know how. It doesn't say how old he's turning.
Okay.
Maybe 33 as well.
Parker would be...
okay. Parker's probably
No, he's
26,
20,
27.
26 or 27, 28, right in there.
Yeah, probably. So happy birthday, guys.
Good guys.
I can't wait to see you guys down in San Diego again.
We'll be back soon.
We will be back soon. Just got to get poked and I'll be there.
So it could be very, very, very soon.
Okay, who else do we got here?
I'll let Tim go last because he's got a really good one. But I'm going to go with my first one from Johnny Ramos. Johnny from Santa Barbara, California. This one's for you, Dee. This shout out goes to Dee Murthy for being such a great and transparent CEO. I know all of us Menlo Club members are extremely appreciative of the email you sent out and for going on the pod and addressing the issues as well.
Awesome.
You went above and beyond. Kathy and Menlo Club member for life.
Wow, awesome. That's nice.
So at least you got one member to stick around.
Yeah, thanks. And then we have a special shout out from Las Vegas. It's Robert's birthday. He didn't get a last name. He's turning 36 years old. But I got a special request. His girlfriend Ari asked, "Can I sing him happy birthday?"
Whoa! And she
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I may not be a poet. I'm just a singer.
Yeah, there you go.
Going next.
You're in the arts.
One thing at a time.
A big artsy guy.
Big artsy guy.
So happy birthday, Robert. I hear Vegas is open. I had a friend there this weekend.
Very nice.
You know, hitting Carbone, hitting all the nice restaurants. So go enjoy a nice meal and enjoy the weekend out in Las Vegas.
Do you have another one?
I do have another one.
Okay.
I have two more actually. I have another friend, Jaime, who's turning 41 years old, and he shares it with the presidential inauguration every 4 years and Martin Luther King weekend every year since 1986 when it started. He's turning 41, but he wants to shout out Joe Kamala and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Eugene Goodman. I also want to send all the Kathys out there a little bit of peace, grace, and patience, and let them know I'm looking forward to seeing them next summer live from the Peppermint Club. Woo! And then one more shout out from Miss Padilla, who Pete forgot to give a gift to. Sure. She wanted to give a shout out to her man, Joseph. DJ Danger Zone. They are doing the GRC 75 challenge together, which is awesome. And even Mickey, they're friends with Mickey. Mickey's been doing it. He said he's been feeling great. So shout out to everyone doing the GRC 75.
Some people are already done.
You know what's crazy? Some people are also done. When I do this challenge every 6 months, I eat insane amounts of food because I'm so fucking hungry all day. So I haven't checked my weight in 1 month. So I checked my weight today. I had a bagel and cream cheese and 3 tequilas for dinner last night, right?
It's a nice dinner.
It's a great dinner. And so
A lot of health.
Yeah, a lot of health. I eat bread, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some sort of carbohydrate with cheese every meal. And so I was convinced, I felt fat. I was like, yeah, I'm running, but I definitely have gained weight. I lost 2.5 pounds.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Imagine if I had a salad.
You'd be done
I
fine.
lost 10 pounds.
Yeah, easily.
What else we got?
We got Tyler the consumer.
Okay.
The consumer says, "Hey friends, tried to come at Tim last time with positivity and thought-provoking questions, something drama hasn't done since February of last year, but instead got flamed. So for that, I guess I'll come for his neck today instead. Tim, clearly you are a Trumpy because the Michelle Obama bit didn't work for you. Nobody even knew who the last audio guy was, and the only reason you were reading the ads is because Pete got Jack Mod. I don't know how such a soft and adorable face can have such an obnoxiously deep voice. I don't think I have a deep voice. It's January and you still haven't dropped the Christmas album. Don't forget that I'm the best thing that's happened to this podcast since Winners Losers content. In all seriousness, I got love for Tim. Hopefully we can get along better. To make amends, I've decided to give you a gift. Use code word TIM for 10% off your next order on Menlo Club. If this code doesn't end up working, blame D."
There you have it. Is that it?
No, I have one more.
Okay.
So Maz, from our nation's capital. No, not your nation, he says, but Canada.
Wow.
All the way from the North Canada. Happy Canadians checking in from Ottawa, Canada. Shout out goes to Allie, Gus, Scotty, and Kim. The Washington Post released an article in November saying that the pandemic is forcing men to have deeper friendships with their guy friends now that game days and bars are closed. Well, fuck them. If your friendship is solely relied on game days and bar nights, then you probably weren't even that close of friends in the first place. All I have to say is shout out to all the close homies you have in your life. They are and always will be priceless.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's really nice. Really great shout outs.
It's all I
Nice.
got.
Great episode.
It's
See you
good. I
guys
will
Sunday.
say, I was listening to every episode, and from being removed, it's getting really good for some reason.
Maybe
I don't
your
know.
absence.
Yeah, maybe it is my absence, but something about it. Like I actually,
I've gotten texts from people recently that the podcast has been amazing.
yeah, so I felt it too. Maybe it was just like listening on the other side because you usually only hear it here, but maybe.
Here, here.